This is the musical garden. We propose an art project to engage the public in a dialogue with plants and with each other. Utilizing biosensors to translate mode of expression will enhance our connection to and appreciation for the complexity of plant life. Synthetic biology can be used to genetically engineer a plant to grow the structures necessary to produce beautiful acoustic properties that can double to be used as a mode of interaction and communication. I'm Lindsay Seichter, and I am an animation student who created the 3D models for this project. Dylan Shepard is this team's game design student who put this project into the realm of virtual reality. Allie is an animation student who concepted and worked on the level design for this project. And Arthur Karbowski is the team's grad student who recorded and edited the sound for the virtual garden. We are not convinced that we should be trying to solve practical problems with biology. Sometimes it seems that we are not ready for that yet, as there is much room for greed and gain. We have yet to learn to stop monetizing every object and idea that we come in contact with. But instead, we should be considering the potential risks posed to ecosystem services. There is still so much for us to learn about the complexities of the natural world. What if instead we created an environment for a relationship to be built between humanity and the greenery that it coexists with? We are interested in changing human perspectives of the flora of our planet through musical dialogue with plants. In the future, we believe that it will be possible to genetically design plants that are musical instruments. In order to experience what we envision for the future, we are creating a VR experience for playing musical plants, so as to engage the public in a dialogue about natural biology and synthetic biology. Many plants grow in much the same way we do. They mature slowly and they can live for decades. The ecologist Suzanne Simard found that Douglas fir and birch trees care for each other. They share carbon and other resources across species through a network of fungus. She also found that firs could distinguish their offspring, prioritize their resources, and share with their young. They have the compulsion for community and proliferation that we and all living things have. Scientists in Israel also detected ultrasonic emissions from plants. Anne Fisher warns us that attributing this sound emission to communication with other organisms is speculative, but it is plausible that plants communicate in an even broader community. Anyone who has experienced the explosion of greenery in the springtime knows how overwhelming plants can be. They strive to live and grow and reproduce. However, they appear to live much more simply and elegantly than we do as adult humans. When we were young, we interacted with the world and with plants in much the same way a plant does. The motion of our child lives was slower and filled with wonder. Our needs were simple: food, water, play, and sunshine. We blew dandelion puffs without a thought for the lawn that would be covered in them, or for the flower itself who just wants to grow. We saw these dandelion puffs not as weeds, but as a source of joy and wonderment. As we grow up, our play turns to work. As society advances, individual work joins into industry. Industry grows larger and louder, and we fill the world with the noise of our often destructive progress. The idea of being able to play with plants once again appeals to us, especially in the endlessly fascinating field of music and sound. With this garden, the act of playing will combine with the auditory feedback and will turn playing into a form of listening. Many conventional musical instruments are made from plant matter. Specific acoustic properties of various species of trees and other vegetation are highly sought after. The musician will often develop a relationship with their instrument. We propose that humans enter into communion with a designed living plant to produce musical sound. Sound is a most important sensory input for many organisms because so much information can be communicated over distance quickly and efficiently. Through sound, we know what is going on around us, even over long distances. We are warned of danger and drawn towards community and celebration. Essentially, all living organisms emit a sound of some kind. We anticipate that in a few decades it will be possible to design the genetic expression of physical structures that will allow a plant to have acoustic properties that make it a natural musical instrument. We believe that this progress will be slow and likely painstaking. Janine Benyus's philosophy on biomimicry guided our work in synthetic biology. We believe that we need to work to develop relationships with the living organisms and biomes in the world around us. The viewpoint that ecosystem services are just that, a service, another supply chain, another revenue stream, is not ethical, sustainable, or elegant. These genetically modified plants will serve multiple functions. On a basic level, they will be engaging and will bring the public together, much like an educational fine art museum that you can interact with. On a more theoretical level, they will push the boundaries between music, biology, and sound. And lastly, on a more general level, they will serve as a prime example of the technological advancements and uses of synthetic biology. Because humanity does not have the knowledge and resources to proceed with this project as of right now, we can only create this VR experience as a simulation of what this project plans to be someday. Several years from now, when we are able to, our goal is to have environments, buildings, and gardens lush with plants that invite communication. They will bring people together and will focus the public's attention on the complexity of the Earth's plants. The combination of the ability to produce musical tones, the need for care and feeding, and the requirement of a symbiotic relationship changes that plant from an object to a peer. And years after this, we hope that humanity's view on the surrounding greenery changes. We hope to understand the land's need and their intricacies in a much more intimate way. We created 3D models based on the plants that we captured sound from. After capturing sound, we went through a long process of noise alteration and sound design. In this virtual experience, the person enters the garden. It is laid out on a path guiding them down a row of plants. The person can experience the dirt, grass, moss, sunlight, shade, and inviting plants in a fun, interactive environment. As the person interacts with the plants, more and more plants unlock. By the end of the experience, one can play many plants and build up the sounds to make their own songs. Throughout our research, communication caught our interest. We learned about different modes of communication on all branches of life. We talked specifically today about the communication of plants and communication of humans. Janine Benyus, in her talk on biomimicry, gives us principles for designing by nature's example. We can learn from all other life on Earth. Mankind only makes up a small portion of the organisms that inhabit Earth. No longer is a plant a thing that serves us, but a part of a philosophical relationship that provokes thought about our place in the world and our relationship with the process of life. Instead of viewing the rest of the organisms of the planet as a silent object for our consumption, we can be in communication with the life around us. We would like to thank the experts, both within and outside of the university, who gave us their time, material, and expertise. Senior Lecturer of Biology, Arthur Neeland, was our Science and Biology Advisor. Our Audio Advisor was Associate Professor Dr. Chi-Wei Hoi. And we gained a lot of aid and advice from professional sound engineer Chris Long. We would especially like to thank our instructor, Assistant Professor of Game Design and Development, Kim Loken, for all of her input, guidance, and moral support on this project. thank you all for your time.